Well, good afternoon, guys. Well, it is pretty commonplace and common knowledge how to take a tin can and turn it into a functional cook stove. Well, today I would like to talk about taking that to the next level. Alright guys, well thanks for joining me. Welcome back. I do appreciate your time very much. Today we're talking about a cooking system by Siege Stoves. You can find more information about these at siegestove.com. Yeah, it definitely looks different, doesn't it, guys? It doesn't exactly look like a cook stove out of the box. What it is, it's a cooking system designed to take commonplace trash or tin cans of various sizes and turn it into a functioning cook stove. And not only that, it allows you, with the options they've built in, it allows you to make many different designs. Basically, your imagination is your only limitation. Alright, jumping right into this, guys. This is designed specifically for tin cans that you buy canned food in. These different tabs right here are to allow it to use many different sizes. I have tried this on probably 5 or 6 different sizes of tin cans. Only one of them did it not fit, and I don't know the number of the can, but it's what you'd get in like a big family-sized Bush's Bean type can. But beyond tin cans, it is also designed to use with those IKEA kitchen utensil containers that have all the little holes in them. This will also fit those as well. Well, folks, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this review, I would like to point out that this stove system was designed with disaster in mind. It scales to fit your need, basically. You can use any size tin can. It's light, it's easy to carry, it fits just about anywhere in your pack or your kit. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to handle this review just a little bit different today. Like I've mentioned before, there are almost infinite possibilities in how you can set this stove up depending on the size of the can, how you want to set up the ventilation of your can. You can even create a feed port door in your tin can to create kind of almost like a rocket stove effect. I mean, it's a lot of possibilities in setup on this thing. So instead of showing you a bunch of different setups, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, number one, how to create a stove out of your typical can, and number two, I'm going to highlight what kind of makes this stove stand out a little bit in my mind. Anyway, let's get to work. Here's the stove setup complete as you would get it from the guys at Siege Stoves. All it comes with is 4 what they call cross members. You have 2 for the bottom and 2 for the top. Alright, simply put, you just slide them together. That forms your base, and this forms your top. Let me show you how to assemble this real quick, and then we'll get on to the highlights. Alright, this is a number 10 can. We've just been using it as a flour pail, basically. My wife's not going to be happy when she finds out I stole this, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, first off, you're going to want to put your base together. To do that, you need to figure out which one's your top and which one's your bottom cross member. Obviously, these teeth go up with the stove. Your top cross member is going to be the one with a notch that's pointed down. Now, find the center of your can. You got these elevation tabs here or whatnot. Find it where it's even with the bottom collar of your can, whichever size you're using, and put it right about that spot. And just take a baton stick, start pounding it into place till it's nice and secure. Then take your bottom cross member, put it through the notch. Make sure you got it lined up to slide down all the way. And there you go. Now here is where you can really tailor this to your environment. Now that you have your base set up, go ahead and pop those back out. These teeth right here, you use basically the same way you create your holes down here. You create the vent holes. Now what I mean by tailoring this to your environment and your need is you could design how much ventilation your cook stove has and where. Before you start popping holes in this thing, I recommend you go ahead and put the top cross members in to kind of help protect the shape of your can. That will pop out on several of these holes. You just pop it right back in. To create your vent holes, decide where you want one. Pop a tooth down in there and just work it back and forth. Now when you're down here at the bottom putting your ventilation holes in, you don't have to worry too much about the pounding process changing the shape of your can too much, because you have the base of the can to support the shape. But as you get up further, the can will flex more as you pound on it, and that's where having these cross members in place really helps out. Okay guys, this is another decision time. Some stoves have a base plate or a coal catch so that your fire and coals stay up off the ground. I prefer to have ventilation on the bottom, and so I'm going to go ahead and add some holes here. Now that you have all the vent holes that you want and or need, hopefully both, right? Go ahead and put your base back on. All right, now that you have your stove set up, just kind of start preloading this thing. Just go ahead and get your big stuff in there first. Once you got the big stuff in there, we'll stuff the smaller tender down in between the nooks and crannies. What's nice about this setup is you can use basically anything you have available. You can tailor it to what fuel you have, to your cooking situation, whether you're cooking for a large amount of people, a small amount of people. And if you're truly desperate, you can make do with just about anything. All right. Tin can stoves may not be that glamorous, but they work really well. We're just going to use one of the homemade emergency food kits that I keep in like my get home bag and in my truck and stuff. Put that on there. Get you guys a close-up. You can see that ventilation working in there. While our water's coming on to boil, this is what I'll be cooking up today. This is just dehydrated veggies, some homemade potato granules, and I got a couple bouillon cubes in there, and my regular go-to, red lentils. Water is almost at a boil, gang. I'll go ahead and, come back here. Add some bouillon cubes. Alright, my bouillon's been simmering for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add my potato granules and veggies. Add a bit of a stir. Now I'll add my lentils as well. Well guys, that's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes to cook. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on this stove setup. As you've probably picked up by now, I really like the versatility of it. I mean, you can tailor it to just about any setup that you need. Obviously, it's built and designed around using tin cans. I mean, where on planet Earth has man not left his footprint in the form of a tin can? I mean, it's pretty easy to go out in any ditch in the United States and find a tin can somewhere. Again, going back to this being a stove system designed around a disaster or survival situation, it's light, it's easy to carry, easy to throw in your pack or your kit or trunk of your car, and just keep it with you just in case something happens. But also at the same time, a lot of folks out there like using tin can stoves. They're cheap, they're easy to use, they're readily available, they're easy to make. So like I said in the very beginning, this system can take that low cost or no cost tin can stove to the next level. Tell you what guys, it's smelling good around here. Well, we've talked about the versatility of this stove and how it can take a tin can stove to the next level. What I mean by the next level, guys, is that it provides a base or a platform for that tin can stove to get up off the ground, so you don't have to find logs to balance your tin can on or find rocks or whatnot. But it also provides that platform on top for a cooking surface for your pot or for a skillet or something like that. And also, you don't even have to use that. You can cook right over the top of it like you would an open fire. If you guys want more information about the stove system, go to www.siegestoves.com. They have lots of accessories for this. The price point for this setup here today is it's $24.95, I believe, give or take a few cents or a few dollars, something like that. They have an upgraded model stove from this. They have several accessories for this. You know, it's very affordable, and like I said before, it does take that tin can stove, which is basically free, to the next level. I think I mentioned in the beginning of this video that Siege Stoves is working on a crowdfunding campaign. They haven't picked a crowdfunding site yet, but they're working on it. What they're trying to do is they're trying to move making these stoves by hand to more of an industrial platform to kind of streamline the process and bring the cost down even further. When that time gets closer, I'm going to make another video about this, about something that I think is really, really cool about it. On their website has plans to turn this system into a gasification stove, which, if you guys know me, I like gasification stoves. I just think the whole process is really neat. So anyway, at some point in the near future, you will see different setups and different ways to set this stove up. Today is just a basic review, introduction to you guys, show you what's out there, and kind of introduce Siege Stoves to you guys. All right. Let's eat some lunch. I'm starving. Mountain House eats your heart out. It may take a little bit longer to cook, but it is so worth it. Now, I know you guys don't want to sit here and watch me eat my whole lunch. However, I'm going to finish up, and I got one more really cool thing to show you about this stove before we go. Now, this is just one of those top cross members, guys. Does a really good job of working down, scraping down tinder. Now, I will admit it's not the best ferrite scraper in the world, but I've definitely used a lot worse, and it works really good, especially when you consider that it's a cook stove. Pretty cool, guys. I love multifunctional things. Well, guys, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for letting me introduce Siege Stoves to you guys. I think it's a really cool setup. But guys, if you found this video helpful, if you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Guys, I just want to let you know about something else. If you want to see a sneak peek of what I have coming up as far as what projects I'm working on and stuff like that, go ahead and check me out on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not exactly that active on there, but I am working on it. Also, guys, if you enjoy camp cooking, recipes, stuff like that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. And as always, please leave me comments, discussion, questions, or whatever else you want to talk about down in the comment section. But I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me.